Welcome to the People Show. My name is Comrade Kolete Obuade, and today I have a special person coming on the show. It's a one-on-one interview with the chairman of the Progressive People's Party. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Studios 2
TV.
The truth is here in your eyes.
Welcome back to the People Show. Today, we're going to talk to somebody who is a politician, somebody who's the chairman of a political party. And this person is going to give us some education, some perspectives that we're going to chew on. His name, you wait, he's the chairman of the Progressive People's Party. Welcome to the People Show. And today we have somebody who's the chairman of the Progressive People's Party.
Party papa.
Great. He said party papa. And today Ghana is at the crossroads. We all know that we're all in a situation, in a crisis, and we're looking for solutions. We're looking for something that is going to turn our situation around in Ghana. And as a chairman of a political party, as grand as PPP, we believe he has something that he can share with us, that you and I can learn something from it. So, Nana, welcome to the People Show.
Thank you so much.
Now, tell us, what is your party doing to rescue Ghana from what we are in today? Because today everybody is worried, everybody is talking about where Ghana is. We know Ghana is at the crossroads, and we want to know what your party is planning for Ghana.
Well, Ghana has been on a crossroad for quite some time. Anytime we have a nation that the unemployment rates are high, that the future of the youth is bleak, then that nation has a big problem at hand. Now, if it is compounded by difficulties in terms of the economic situation, the housing deficit, and all of that, then you have a potential national security issue on your hand. The Progressive People's Party feels that there are structural deficits or defects in the way that our governance system is run. One of the things is that when in a so-called democracy, parties come in power, those parties, when they come into power, they only take care of their own, as if those are the only citizens in Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah, one of the reasons why we talk about him, his overthrow and people trying to justify is that he made himself a one-party state. But in democracy, we are creating one-party states. So there must be a difference. Look, anytime you have the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, a Minister of Justice advises the President on matters of law. Then the Attorney General is there for you and I as citizens in the implementation of law and order in this nation. But this person, holding two portfolios in one, sits at cabinet as a political animal. Then can this person now run out of cabinet to prosecute his own?
No.
Even those who are close with him, sitting with him as parliament. So the PPP advocates for the total separation of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General. The Special Prosecutor Office thing, you and I know is not working. It is not working because the Special Prosecutor is under the Attorney General. And if the Special Prosecutor wants to do something, it is only the power of the Attorney General that can enter into what we call a nolli prosequi, which means that if they want to pursue a case or not pursue a case, it is the Attorney General that has the power by law to do this. So the Special Prosecutor is a subset of the Attorney General, and he's not truly independent. So we have spoken about that. The PPP talks about, look at this situation where the legislature, which is supposed to serve as a check on the executive, the law, the constitution says that the president must pick 50 plus 1% of his ministers from parliament. So now the legislature that's supposed to check the executive becomes part of the executive. So he sits at the cabinet meetings, they take decision. Then he runs back to the legislature, parliament, to receive the decisions that he has taken and pass it. Do you see that there's something fundamentally wrong with the way in which we do governance? That is why they have not been able to have the backbone, the legislature, to sack the finance minister, even though the majority of the party in power says that the finance minister is responsible for their woes. Do you hear 80 plus majority MPs, 90 plus majority plus MPs? They are subtracting the MPs who are holding ministerial posts because they are afraid that they will be sacked for opening their mouth that their colleague minister that they share position with in cabinet should also be sacked. So there's a deformity. So the Progressive People's Party has advocated that members of parliament should never become members of the executive, sitting on boards, becoming ministers. Then the check and balance that is needed to make sure there is sanity. Because you see, the president has too much power under our constitution, appointing over 5,000 people into position. The Ayatollah Khomeini does not have this power. But under our constitution, our president has that power. So there must be the total separation of that of the executive from the legislature. We have talked about if Ghanaians are intelligent enough to vote for the assemblyman, they are intelligent enough to vote for the members of parliament, they are intelligent enough to vote for president. These people are not intelligent enough to vote for their metropolitan municipal district chief executives who are appointed by the presidency. And you see, when you make them vote and people exercise that franchise, the desperation of a governance that the winner takes all subsides. As you have representatives in parliament from various parties, so will you have representatives at the MMDC level from different parties. And that will allow the desperation that they think that I'm no longer in power, I can't do anything. And the power of the purse at the municipal district chief executive level resides in the DC or the executive director. And that is where the purchasing power, the power to make to make change, to affect change directly with the lives of the people. And those people should be elected. So they are accountable to the people. They are accountable to the center. That is why when you go to their offices, they sack them. And that's why the people themselves don't even go to them. Because they know that they did not elect them into power. So they hold the MP. But the MP does not hold the purse for the development at the level, at the 275 constituency level.
Yeah.
They don't hold that power. You see? So that is why the Progressive People's Party, we speak to structural changes, fundamental changes that allow governance to persist and for governance to grow in an atmosphere that does not give absolute power to the presidency. We have an Ayatollah form of presidency. And that is why Ghana is not developing. Because power of the people for the people by the people is not truly representative at the grassroots level, where it matters the most. And that is why the PPP, we are always talking about this. People are talking about free SHS. We are talking about compulsory universal basic education that leaves no child behind. The SHS is those who get there. But what about those who are not getting there from JHS to SHS?
That's the younger ones, actually.
Those people become what you call street children. And streetism is brought about as a result. And then we leave all these people behind. The Progressive People's Party is saying that it's going to be a crime that the youth does not have basic education and stay in school till the end of SHS. Other countries are making it from KG to university. Other countries have extended it from KG to master's degree level. And we are talking about KG to JSS level. And you want us to compete among other nations. It's not possible. It's not possible. So you see, people have slogans. But this is an education system that is leaving us a chunk of the people on the street, sleeping at car stations, children having babies, babies having babies. It's as a result of this. Because those people are not able, when you meet the young people, oh, maybe a school. And you say, so you're so young, what school did you, maybe a JHS. The JHS, BEC, PPP says it should be abolished. There should be uninterrupted education from KG to SHS. There should be no break, like from classes to JHS, JHS to SHS. There should be no break for them to continue with their education so that they have a minimum, because you are 18 years before you are able to vote. If they stay in school up to a minimum of SHS, that's when they become 18. And part of the reason why we talk about 18 is about maturity. But if a child's life is truncated on the JHS level, how would that person be able to take meaningful decisions that will affect this nation moving forward? We need them to be educated. We need them to have basic knowledge. We need these things in order to propel this nation forward. So this is just an example of the tip of the iceberg why the Progressive People's Party, our relevance is more than ever. Our relevance is more than ever because we have led a crusade. We took government to court to implement the directive principles of state policy under Article 36 and 38 of the Constitution. We have been at the forefront of this. We continue to understand that, look, until we stand up and make a difference and show Ghanaians that there is an alternative that exists to these other people, we will never move forward. So that is why the Progressive People's Party, we are relevant, we are working, the difficulty that exists, but difficulty is for leadership. You must overcome difficulty in order to be able to call yourself a leader. And that is why we don't give up, we don't quit, we don't stop. That is why our symbol is the bright red sun, because the bright red sun talks about the fierceness of now, the bright agency of now. The white talks about the nature, the state of the heart in its purity, in its purest form. That is why our symbols are red, sun, and white. Those are the colors that guide us. So there is logic to everything that we do. And we understand that in order for Ghana to move forward. But you see, the Progressive People's Party is not arrogant. There are 8 things that it alone, that institution alone, can achieve. We are looking to bring on people who have such like minds, for us to come together in an alliance to be able to move forward, because that is what the research that we did, that is what the people are asking for from the community. They are shouting, they are telling us, they are pointing to us that we must get this thing done. So we are also reaching out to our brothers and sisters all over, wherever you are, no matter how big or how small you are. We want to be with you. We want to work with you. We want to make sure that we make a difference in the lives of the people.
Nana,
That matters the most.
yeah, Nana. Before you go, I want to ask you one question about the 2023 budget. There are a lot of stuff people are saying, but I would like you to tell us what your party is saying regarding that budget and the way 2023 is going to be like.
The first thing I want to say is that there's a difference between, in the field of medicine, there are difference between cardiologists, ophthalmologists, different forms of doctors, and that of a mortician, also a different form of a doctor. Now, the doctor who is supposed to prevent life, when he fails, then the body becomes that of a pathologist who now look into causes of death and all that. The finance minister has taken us into deepness, into darkness, into a point of no return. And then you say that the person that has taken us into this situation must be the same person that can revive us as a people. That alone is a falsehood, is a premise that is plaguing the budget even to begin with. The budget itself is, I call it, go and get your visa budget. Because 2023 is going to be the most difficult, 2024 is going to be 2 of the most difficult dark days that Ghana has ever seen. Here you are in difficulty. And if you are a business and you're in difficulty, the first thing you do is you try to cut out what you call the fat. Those things that are not needed, those things that you can reduce. In your own house, you begin to, if you take your children out to go and watch cine, and it's costing you X amount, in difficulty you stop watching cine. You eat the basic food. You get used to gari and eba, and you eat your food in your house, because now you have to readjust your budget to take care of your house. They have not readjusted anything. The expenditure of government has rather gone on the increase, twice, double of what they were spending before. The Council of the State, Council of State from whom former President Kufuor has said that it is a waste. When the IEA went to visit President Kufuor, he says that if one of the things he can change, he will scrap the Council of State. But this government has rather given the Council of State over 1.4 billion. Never unprecedented. For them to do what? For them to do what? The budget of the Council of State and the budget of the government machinery is more than the budget of the Ministry of Agric. In this budget. The budget for the cathedral is in this budget. Over 800 million is there. And so you ask yourself, is this the government that in difficult times wants to increase taxes and introducing 23 taxes, but they don't want to reduce even 1 cedi of the expenditure? They tell you about V8s and V6. Are they going to set up another institution to overlook those? Does it almost also mean that they are not going to procure more saloons? Does it also mean that now they are going to procure more saloon cars for the people? That you are banning V8s and V6 from Accra? Who's going to be counting? Where is your system of check? You can't even collect your taxes. Every expert have said that we will not need to introduce any 23 new taxes if we paid attention to the holes that exist within our taxation system, the tax breaks that we are giving people. And if we improve on that, we will increase and make our target. A government that could not meet the target last year has now increased the target double-fold. What does that tell you and I? It means that they are coming after you and I. We will bear the blunt end of it. You have increased corporate taxes from 25 to 35. You are going to kill companies. You're going to kill companies, private sector that are employing people. You have increased the tax when those companies have been suffering in this regime. You yourself are saying that Ukraine COVID war is affecting people. Well, it's affecting the companies. And the companies who are not able to pay their employees now fair wages that they need, you are now asking them to pay 10% in addition to corporate tax. That doesn't make sense to you, my brother. What that means is that they will pass it on to the consumer, you and I. They will add 10% more to the cost of the product in order to be able to get the money to pay these people. So something that you were paying 1 cedi for, they will add the 10 pesos to it, and you will pay 1 cedi 10 pesos. So this is not a thinking government. This is not a loving government. This is a government that has run us down. And the same person who has run us down is being asked to resuscitate us, become the pathologist in the process. It does not work. It does not make sense. Look, this Ofori man, his company Data Bank, 30 of his top executives, including himself, co-founder Kaligejepo, Yofi Grant, Reverend Obami Tete, all these people, he has released all of them into the public sector. Then you release 30 of your, some are in Ministry of Finance, Controller and Accountant General, Insurance Corporation. He has put them all over the place. So you get an exodus of your top 30. But the company performs better than the history of the company. It means two things. One, all these 30 people were super incompetent. And as such, they should all be sacked. Or two, what it seems more plausible, from what we have heard from the bonds, making money from the bonds. They are bringing money into the company from the public sector. That is why they ran into the public sector to feed their various companies. Enterprise Insurance is now competing with SIC. They are killing off state companies to the benefit of their private companies. And then he goes and opens a company that deals with you when you die. He has a company that transition is part of his corporate. So when he stresses you enough and you die, he will offer you a coffin. He will offer you a car to take you to the mortuary. He will offer you tables and chairs services for your funeral. So when he finishes with you, he will also provide services that will bury you and go see your ancestors. So you continue to watch these people. You and I, we are destined for death if you listen to these people and the things that they are doing.
Nana, that's something. But before you go, I want you to look at our camera and this is the People Show, and the youth are the ones who listen to us. I know you have a message for the youth, the Ghanaian youth, the African youth. Tell us what's on your heart. What, as chairman, you want to tell the youth as we listen?
Look, your future has been killed off. These people are taking loans that your children will be paying off. It's not them. So if you sit there and you think that something is coming from the sky to come and help you, young men and women, there's nothing there. They have finished us. You need to rise up. You need to mobilize. You need to change your state of mind in order to change your state, your condition that you are in. And that is what I am telling you. That in order for any change to come about, you, the youth, must rise up and say that enough is enough. It is your turn. It is your turn to make that change that this nation is yearning for. And I plead for all of us to rise up and bring a change to this wickedness that we have been falling under. It is up to you. You must rise or your future is doomed.
Thank you very much. It is the People Show, and that's Nana Owusu. Nana Ofori Owusu, who is the chairman of the Progressive People's Party. Nana, thank you for being on the People Show.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. All too soon, we've come to the end of the People's Show for today's session. We want to say a big thank you to the chairman of the Progressive People's Party. We want to say also a big thank you to you, our viewer, who is always following us, who is always liking us and sharing. Don't forget to like and share so that many, many people will get the information that you and I are getting access to. Until I come your way next time, it's the People Show on Studio 2 TV. My name is Comrade Kolete Obuade. Bye-bye.
Studios 2 View. The truth is here in your eyes.